Hi, I'm Dr. Catherine Knowlton, a professor in the Dairy Science Department at Virginia Tech. As part of our series of tutorials on judging dairy cattle, I've created several videos on the basics of giving reasons. One question that coaches and especially 4-H kids often ask me is about new terminology. How can I expand my vocabulary? What new cool terms should I use? If you talk to your coaches and do a quick search of the internet, you're going to find a lot of lists of terms. In this video, my students and I will give you some terms you can use, but also I want to suggest a general sentence structure. So over time, as you create new terms and come across new lists, you'll know how to incorporate that terminology into your reasons. I hope this helps. In creating this tutorial, I had the help of 3 students from my 2017 Virginia Tech judging team. They are Kayla Umbel from Maryland, Hannah Van Dyk from California, and Cortney Hostetter from Pennsylvania. Each of these 3 placed in the top 5 in reasons at least one major contest, and I really appreciate their help. As I created this video, I'm assuming that you have already watched the other 2 videos on presenting oral reasons on our YouTube channel. Those videos cover some basics of priorities and organization and terminology. You're going to get a lot more out of this video if you've already got the basics. I need to give you a couple of warnings. The first is, I'm giving you complete sentences, full ways to talk about particular traits. And I want you to practice those sentences that way. But when you give reasons on your cows, your reasons have got to be specific to the cows that you are talking about. So I might teach you a sentence, higher and wider in the rear udder attachment, stronger in her suspensory ligament, and closer in her teat placement. Practice that 58 times. It'll flow off your tongue so easy. But when it's time to actually talk a class of cows, you've got to be able to slice and dice these sentences so you are only using the pieces that are true of the cows that you're talking about. Here's another caveat. Every coach has got a different style. Every coach has got terms and phrases that they like, and every coach has got terms and phrases that they don't like. And you judge for your coach. I may well put some phrases out there that your coach vetoes, and you know what? If she vetoes it, don't use it. Your coach may have phrases that I'm not putting out there, and if those are phrases that he likes and wants you to use, then you follow his advice. You got to judge for the coach that you've got. As you watch and you listen, I want you to begin to notice an organization, a structure, in fact, a template that my students are following when they're talking categories within each pair. And when I say template, it's like a recipe or an outline. Within each pair, I might have 2 categories. And every time I declare the category with an opening sentence, and then I follow with some detail, some detail, some detail. I will always be using ER words or the word more. I think learning these templates will help you more than anything else. You can plug in terms into these templates that are specific to the cow, and you can do it every time. Here's my opening sentence. One has the advantage in, name your category. Dairiness, mammary system, feet and legs. One has the advantage in, category. Follow with some detail. One is, put an adjective in there, stick an ER on it. In her, put a noun in there. Higher in her rear udder attachment. Another adjective with an ER on it. Stronger. In her, put a noun in here. Suspensory ligament. And put another adjective with an ER on it. Closer. In her, noun. Teat placement. What do you get? One is higher in her rear udder attachment, stronger in her ligament, and closer in her teat placement. Adjective with an ER noun, adjective with an ER noun, adjective with an ER noun. You can plug into that sentence whatever is relevant to your cows. Another way of doing the same thing, one has more noun in her noun. One has more depth in her body. One has more width in her chest, more spring in her rib. And now let's go ahead and have you listen to these. Kayla Umbel is the one talking on this slide.
One excels in udder because she is higher, wider, and firmer in her rear udder attachment. She has a more uniform width from the top to the bottom of her rear udder and is fuller at the base of her rear quarters, giving her a more attractive curvature to her rear udder.
Did you hear it? Did you hear the template that she used? One excels in udder because she is adjective ER, adjective ER, adjective ER in her noun. She has more noun, and she is adjective ER at the noun. Let's listen to that again.
One excels in udder because she is higher, wider, and firmer in her rear udder attachment. She has a more uniform width from the top to the bottom of her rear udder and is fuller at the base of her rear quarters, giving her a more attractive curvature to her rear udder.
The best way for you to learn this stuff is to actually practice it, verbalize it out loud. So hit pause and practice this. Say it 3 times. Say it 3 times correctly. And then we'll move on. Here's Cortney.
One is tighter in her forudder attachment with a more shapely, less rounded forudder. She is more level, less tilted on the udder floor, and less quartered.
And again.
One is tighter in her forudder attachment with a more shapely, less rounded forudder. She is more level, less tilted on the udder floor, and less quartered.
And now you. Here's Hannah.
One is more balanced in her forudder because 2 is light in her left front quarter. 1 has more bloom to her udder than the stale 2.
And again.
1 is more balanced in her forudder because 2 is light in her left front quarter. 1 has more bloom to her udder than the stale 2.
And now you try it. Udders are awfully important, and there's a lot that can be wrong with them. So we've got still one more slide, one more way of talking udders. This is Kayla.
1 has a more pliable and milkier texture to her udder and more veining. She has a smaller, more correct teat size, is closer in the front teat placement, and is more level on her udder floor because 2 has a slight reverse tilt.
And again.
1 has a more pliable and milkier texture to her udder and more veining. She has a smaller, more correct teat size, is closer in the front teat placement, and is more level on her udder floor because 2 has a slight reverse tilt.
And now you try it. My intention is to put together several of these. I think this is probably enough content for one video though, so I'll close here and then I'll create a new one on feet and legs. Before I end, I want to remind you maybe the 3 most important things in here. Number 1, learn these phrases so they flow off your tongue, but be very precise to the cows you're looking at. Number 2 is judge for the coach you've got. If she vetoes some of these or encourages you to use other phrases, do it. And then number 3 is that template. It looks kind of funny, adjective-er in her noun, but you can plug and play and just roll right through your reasons. So I hope this helped, guys. Keep an eye out for the next one.